Okay, so my camera is already set up and I just filmed that get ready with me type thing. And there's a video I've been meaning to film for a while now, and I think now is the time to film it. So what I wanted to talk about was the feeling of being stuck in a rut, or like you're not making progress in what you're trying to do. And the main thing that I want to talk about in regards to that is something that I realized. It was a few days, when I say a few days ago, it's like this week. I'm filming this on Sunday the 3rd. You're probably going to see this on Tuesday the 5th of March. So something that I realized in my own life is in certain areas where I felt stagnation, like progress wise in my life, I was looking at it, and in fact it started at looking at my YouTube page. So I saw my YouTube page in 2016. 3/4 of the videos that used to be on there, I took them off. They were like spoken word, a few covers, some really cringy challenges, and like Q&As, stuff like that, you know what I mean? And it was kind of on and off. Like I'd post a video and then wait a few months and then post a video and then skip a few months and then post a video and then I skipped a year. And it was just, you know what I mean? And I started posting like these new videos, but my old videos kind of cringed me out, so I didn't ever go back and look at them. And then last week I went back and looked at my page and I was like, oh my god, this is on the internet, like private, delete type thing. And it dawned on me that like sometimes when you don't have progress in areas that you want to have progress in, it might be because you're not proud of what you're creating. Because when I look back at, like, let's say the last 5 or 6 videos, I genuinely don't mind watching through them. Like I enjoy them. I don't know if that makes sense, because it finally is something that I'm proud of or something that I resonate with. Sometimes, be it like in work or in school or in creating, we feel like we keep on hitting this wall, but like I think it's because we have this go, go, go mentality. And the problem with the go, go, go mentality is that you're onto the next thing and onto the next thing and onto, I'm so guilty of this, onto the next thing and onto the next thing and onto the next thing, right? That you never look at what you've done. And when you never look at what you've done, sometimes you can't take pride in yourself or in like what you're doing or how you're imparting things to people. If you're saying you want to help people by what you're doing, have you ever looked back at it because it could help yourself? If you're making like music, for example, are you actually proud of what you're making, or are you feeling like the pressure? Because one thing you need to realize is pressure can literally hinder you from your own progress. I tweeted this actually. What did I tweet? Let me read my tweet for you. I tweeted saying, can you work for a second? Damn. Right, I tweeted and I said, time is an illusion. Don't let pressure hinder you from progress and increase your fear. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Time is an illusion in the highest key. For example, how I can paint this picture to you is, when you look at your life, I can look at mine, and like high school was like a lifetime in its own. After high school, I spent 2 years at UCT, first year, second year, was a lifetime in its own. I spent a summer in London doing summer school, lifetime in its own. And like last year was like literally an entire lifetime. You have so many like people are like, oh, you have one lifetime. You have so many lifetimes and like timelines in your life, like within the whole blanket life, that sometimes you don't realize how so much stuff happened in a small period of time, but it's one of those, that's just how it was ordained. That's just how your story is being told. That's how you needed to learn that way. Like, certain things that happen to you is because what people need to understand is that before you even got onto earth, you made a contract for the life that you wanted, because those are the lessons that you need to learn. So I stopped feeling sorry for myself for the bad things that would happen to me, and tried to figure out why I needed to learn those lessons. And in picking away at the scabs, I realized they are like festering, bubbling, like rancid wounds underneath the bandage. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, I wouldn't even say scab, I'll say a bandage. It's like every time you get hurt, you wrap a bandage. No antiseptic, nothing. We don't want to look at the wound, so we wrap the... So now your whole body is wrapped up in these bandages. And like, slowly but surely, when you start to unwrap them, you realize that it's just disgusting, and you have to treat your wound, otherwise you'll never heal, and surely you'll die. And this doesn't even mean physically, like, look at it metaphorically. You yourself, who you really are, your connection to your higher self, like the pure you, who's not masked by ego, who's not masked by trying to fit into the societal mold, starts dying. So you slowly start being disconnected from yourself. And I think it's so sad, because sometimes we feel so much pressure. Like, for example, like, I think the one time I was talking to my mom, I was like, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna I don't know what we were talking about. It was like something, and I was like, yeah, like, time is going, I'm actually 23. And I was freaking out. She's like, dude, you're 23, type thing. It's not that big of a deal. But this idea of time can freak us out. And the funny thing is that in thinking that time, you have to reach certain benchmarks, and certain people have different timelines, fam. Buffett became a billionaire after 50, you know what I mean? Zuckerberg became a billionaire in his 20s, you know what I mean? Jeff Bezos wasn't even thought to ever become the richest man in the world, but he is. Kind of got to his head, and now he's, you know, paying the repercussions. It's just one of those things where the illusion of time creates fear in your mind. And fear, constant fear in your mind, starts giving you things like anxiety. And when you're anxious and you have this constant fear, that's in the front of your vibrational field. That's the front of your thought process. That's your emotions, and that's your thoughts, right? And then your words start getting affected too. So your biggest manifestation channels, which are your emotions, your thoughts, and your words, are now surrounded by fear, stress, and anxiety. So that's what you start manifesting, and you end up blocking your own progress. Where you would have been moving forward in the rate that you were supposed to, you've put a whole roadblock in your life. So sometimes when you're thinking about time, and we're just like, oh no, there's not enough time, and like, I'm too old. That's a lie, okay? If you're still on this earth, it means you need to fulfill your purpose. If you feel the need to do something at a certain time in your life, you're supposed to do it. Like, your intuition, your soul, your gut feelings, they're all there for a reason, because that's your connection to source. And that's how it speaks to you. Like, people, the world has kind of juvenilized our basic instincts as human beings, or like our connections to the spiritual, as irrelevant, because it's making you more of this 3D self that you are. But this is not it. Keep in mind, fam, that like, whether you believe in science or religion or anything, we are all energy, right? The table is energy and the air is energy. The difference is how closely they vibrate together. You're a physical manifestation of your energy. And it's also proven that energy never ends. It just gets transferred into something else, which means you yourself as a being will never end. You're infinite. You're infinite. You know how long infinity is? These 2000, like the whole human race, right, is just, it's a blink in time. It's literally a blink in time. This is not it. This is not forever. And it's kind of like sometimes people lose themselves, lose their morals, lose what they believe in, lose their sole purpose, all for trying to gain these material things for their time on earth right now. And it's like, now that like my eyes are getting opened and open, I'm like, why would I sacrifice myself, who I am, my energy, my vibration, my growth, for 20 years of bliss? And the funniest thing is, it's normally the people who have to show that they're having the best time, and normally the people having the worst time, because you need the validation. And the sad thing is, the person at home is now going to start wanting to seek the same validation because they think that person's happy, but they're not. And then it creates a cycle, which is like endless cycles, but that's for a different video. This video was just basically me saying, time is an illusion. If you're stuck in a rut, look at what you're creating, making, or working on, and ask yourself if you genuinely believe in it, or if it's what you really want to do. Because being half-hearted about anything, bro, you'll never really get to where you think you want to go. Like, you have to have a time of self-reflection. Make a decision, get convicted, and go for it. Because the fact that you're sitting here breathing, speaking, seeing, communicating, like existing, means that you're supposed to. You can do whatever you want. So I hope this video gets to you in like, well, you're in a good space. Love and light your way, and I hope you have an amazing Tuesday.